Hello and welcome to Prison Architect Beginner's Guide Part 7. This one is going to be focusing on my prison entitled Wolves. This one is actually a large prison, also using infinite money, and this one is pretty fun actually. When you unpause it, you can see the size of it. I've got my cell block A, B, and C. Why are they named that? Well, I made this one first, I made that one second, and I made that one third. We'll get a closer look at the way these are set up. The cells are all over here, are all set up as 2x3, and I was able to clone these out pretty quickly. The infirmary is the entire stretch. That way, they've got enough beds for that entire block in case they need it. And you can see my entire set of doctors, and then you come down here and it's essentially the same setup. This one, the corners were a little bit wonky in those two sections, but that's the least of my concerns, to be honest. Each cell block actually has its own power and water source. For the most part, that's because they're just so huge. If I need to create another block, then I'm going to need more and more money. The third cell block has its own infirmary kind of in the middle, which I'm starting to wish I had changed. And it's got its own little block of doctors who have evidently been at work. I've actually got 4 canteens, and I've got 5 kitchens. We'll look at the staff. I've got 44 cooks, 130 guards, 48 workers. Only got 1 dog handler apparently. And I have 12 out of 24 armed guards. The armed guards are actually why this is titled Wolves, because there's nobody in my prison who's going to be causing a fuss. You can see everywhere that they're deployed, and if the prisoners do start getting out of hand, then I turn on free fire. And then the wolves are let out of their cage. I'm actually just going to fill this up. So I've got max amount. And now with the offices and everything, I've got a few empty office rooms. Didn't work out the way I wanted with everything. That's why some of them are stretched out. And over here is the armory where the armed guards are stationed just initially. A big old staff room, and then the security room up there. I've got my foreman, my warden is somewhere, I think. Yep, there he is. And then the security chief took an office down there at the front of the office. This is actually my morgue. You can see we have a lot of fun here. And just to show you how much fun this prison has, take a look at the stats over here. 157 deaths in prison, in custody. Essentially, that means 157 prisoners have died. Only 9 have escaped, though. So I think I'm doing something right. Now, a big thing as well is going to be my solitary block. This is what I was talking about. If you get a really big prison, you're going to want an entire block dedicated to solitary. You can see that they're starting to get sort of full up right now as it is. Touching back on the last video as well, if we go over to intelligence, you can see how many informants I've got already. I've pretty much taken the entire prison and turned them against each other. And I've got a whole ton of potentials, so I'm actually I don't discriminate. I want as many snitches in here as I possibly can. That way, the snitches are kind of their own army as well. Now, another thing that you're noticing is all of the red text. These guys are all max security. Every single one of them is max security because they give a lot of money. And as you can see, I've got 321 prisoners, and I've been waiting a long time to fill this up before I start expanding. I've got 321 prisoners, and my daily cash flow is actually positive. But I think that my CEO of my prison is actually an American politician. I'm $2.8 million in debt. Now, one thing as well that you'll notice is that I was able to get all of my doctors to stay up by the doors. That way, when prisoners come in after getting shanked in the shower, beating the crap out of each other at lunch and breakfast time, they come back in here, the doctors can immediately grab them and heal them up. And I did that over there as well. Now, the way that I did that is by creating the infirmary. Let's see, where is it? So, if you notice, it's just blocked off. There's a little section that is not the infirmary. So by putting doctors into that section, they actually stay right there because they think that's their workspace. Same with over here. It's a little bit bigger, but it doesn't matter. And then the infirmary over here, these guys just like to think they're special. Now, I've got 70 in solitary and 14 waiting, and I've actually, you can see it right here, I have 226 solitary cells, so there's no shortage of solitary rooms. My visitation is actually pretty roomy. At this particular point, I'm just waiting on breakfast to roll around. They're going to start eating at 8 o'clock, and I'm actually thinking I'm gonna give them an extra hour to eat this time. So we're basically just gonna wait this out. I'll show you my logistics, with my prison labor. I've only got 2 that are qualified to work in the workshop. And apparently they're all pretty stupid because none of them have ever finished any of those jobs. It's times like this when I really wish it could go another speed up. I think what I'm going to do is to pause the video briefly. You won't see any interruption, of course, but once it comes time, I'll start it up again, and I'll show you how we're going to get a riot to start. Alright, so it took a little bit to be able to get the day to roll around, so we started it back up here, and it's 7:15 in the morning. Breakfast time's coming around soon, and if all goes as planned, we should see the danger meter start to rise pretty quickly. What I'm actually going to do to help it rise even faster, take all of my guards and put them into one section away from all of the prisoners. Just waiting for lockup time to finish and keep the guards coming over to this section. So once they get there, they're going to go back to doing whatever they were doing. Now notice over here as well, I've got this gate set up. That's because prisoners have still been escaping from either up top. Oh, and here comes all of their families. And you can see the danger meter is rising. 283 prisoners have serious complaints. And 299 are compliant. Now everybody's making their way over to the canteens. Go ahead and open up the jail doors so they can get out, since there are no guards over there. And you'll see all these guards coming out here. That's because they were in a class to get taser certified. They actually have a really high chance at succeeding at that. Danger meter is still climbing. And here come the visitors. Just taking a nice lovely stroll through my prison. I've actually got the entire outside area over here marked as yard, so when it comes time for yard, they'll be able to stay in that section. They'll be able to go over wherever they want. Danger meter still climbing. The guards should be in their taser certification class, but we're trying to get a riot started. Now, you usually find that it starts happening during the middle of the day. You can see that guards are kind of doing their own thing at the same time when I'm telling them to come over here. These guys are starting to get a little bit upset. Just a little bit. But that's okay. Janitors want out. Can't grab it. There we go. Tempers are flaring. Somebody died. Oh, you dead, son. He might have been a snitch. Nope. Some dude just didn't like him. And one thing that I noticed over here that was actually pretty fun. This guy is legendary. He's extremely strong, tough, volatile. He's stoical, which means that he doesn't care that he's in solitary. He's extremely deadly, he's fearless, extremely quick, and he's an instigator. And he's my buddy. I'm gonna go ahead and let him out if I can. People are dying. Alright. Killer. Alright, so let's keep our guards over here. We're still waiting. 3 deaths. 4 deaths. 5. 6. It's just climbing and climbing and climbing. This is what I do in my spare time. So 267 are upset. 17 like what I'm doing for them. Those are probably my snitches. 164 are well fed. That's because I've got so many canteens and so many kitchens. I'm gonna back out here just to get every guard. Make sure that every one of them is in our diamond. Apparently a guard died somewhere. 12 deaths. And here we go. Alright. So now a big thing to bear in mind with a riot is that once prisoners control an area, if a guard does not have armor, and if a guard is not taser certified, then they're actually going to stay out of an area because it's too dangerous. If I can manage to get these prison doors open. Ah, they're rioting in the in solitary. So I'm gonna go ahead and send a small handful of guards into that area. He's strong and deadly. And you'll see him just going to town with their tasers. Zap! Alright. So that was kind of fun. Kind of. Could have been a lot better. Now notice that it's work time and the prisoners are just kind of hanging out. Apparently they don't know how to go through a door that's open. Let's see. Let's send some guards over here. Get those doors open for them. Even on 3-speed, it seems to me like they still take forever to get places. Maybe it's just because it's a large map and the game's doing a lot of stuff all at once. We'll let the guards go back to doing what they're going to do. A lot of them are going to be heading up to the security room so they can rest. Because after all that... And some guards grabbed their tasers because a few of them completed them out. Completed their certification, that is. Now it's time for the yard. We should have... Yep, we got lockup. We'll keep them in yard. Actually, they tend to hate working, so I'm going to make them work. The tempers are still high. Now with the showers, you can see I've got that system set up from before, and they're actually taking it pretty well. Since I put the drains on the doors, it's kind of hard for me to be able to open it up. But when and if a guard ever manages to get over there, they'll open it up and let him out. Apparently these guys are having some fun party time in the shower. And this is what I was saying earlier with work time. If they're not qualified for a job or anything, then they're gonna do whatever it is that they can to bide their time. They're gonna take a shower. They're gonna go and eat. They're gonna stand around in the yard. They're gonna exercise. Now notice as well that we've got metal detectors at all of the entrances to the cell blocks, and I do that so that the guards can search them immediately if they have contraband on them, weapons or tools or anything like that. And I did that with the canteens as well, because they like to sneak forks and knives out of there. And they'll make shanks, and they'll start going and shanking people in their sleep. Okay, we still got work time. Let's see. And they found a tool on this guy. Are they fighting or are they banging? Holy crap. Apparently shower is time to get frisky. I mean, yeah, they're all naked. What are they doing? Oh, and here comes the figure skating team. I think that's a big old pool of DNA right there. That's pretty gross. Alright, danger meter is raising again. Now with when you go into logistics, I've got my food distribution. I've got it set up so that they can all go to any of the canteens, so that way they're not all set up for just one particular block. Cell block A I've got going only to that one so that I can make sure that those guys are indeed getting the food that they need. I've noticed that for some reason the guys in cell block A don't like to eat a whole lot. Now it's back to work. So it's 4 in the afternoon. I've only had one riot so far, and it's kind of lackluster to what I wanted. So I'm gonna go ahead and start a shakedown, and hopefully this makes them a little bit upset, just a little bit. You can see I've got 1710 places to search. This is gonna take a while, and it's really gonna make them upset. Let me hide my to-do list. Now I've got so much crap over here in my storage area. Just because of everything that I've done. I've got medical beds, office desks, filing cabinets. I've got so much junk that I haven't had the time or the effort to go through and dump it all. But you never know when I'm actually going to need it. Alright, danger meter's raising. You can actually set guards to go into a cell block, and that'll help them to get to that straight away. You can see in the solitary block, these guys are kind of doing their thing. This guy's unconscious and he's bleeding out. Sometimes I'll send a doctor into the area just so they can clean up. I've got 29 in solitary with 10 waiting. Only 2 require medical attention. And this number is going to keep on rising. As for my punishments, I've got my solitary block there. Oh, and look, a tunnel. Huh. Not a very big one. And when you go over to policy, it's solitary. So, what happens if they get drunk or if they're all stoned out of their gourd? Solitary. Well, what do you mean? Why is it all solitary? Because solitary. You try and get out, solitary. You even find a cell phone, something that's not actually gonna hurt anybody, you get solitary. And my meal quantity is high as well. I'm gonna set this to low, and we'll go with low. That actually raises your money, your intake. I've got $17,000, which is actually double from when I just started. Apparently this isn't pissing them off. I'm gonna go ahead and pause the video and then I'll come back when the shakedown finishes. Alright, so I've got a riot underway now, and shakedown's just about completed. Doesn't matter. It says only 12 are rioting, so I'm gonna let this go pretty well. I'm just gonna let guards do what they're gonna do. Got 15 rioting, and since this section is outlined in red, that means that's the area that's controlled by the rioters. They've got 20 going to their cause. You can see my death counter just keeps on counting. Those guards out of there, and these guys are just gonna keep beating out everything up. They killed 4 different people over there. I'm wondering if any of them were a snitch. It doesn't seem like it. So we've got 32 set to their cause. You can see these guards over here just tasing people. Tempers are really starting to flare. Now during the night, they're not, all these prisoners who are actually going to their cells won't get involved in the riot. So, since I've got a good number of guards who are armored and taser certified, I'm going to go ahead and send them over here. That way, they'll be able to get into the room and take care of those prisoners who are rioting. I've actually had a few times where the guards didn't get to the riot in time. Like, I wanted it to fill up overnight while I was asleep, so I just let the game run. I came back, and literally everybody was dead. I had no workers, I had no guards, I had no prisoners. Everybody was dead. They killed themselves in the shower. They lit the entire place on fire. So, guards are going to be over here, and you can see the armed guards are going to be getting in on it. It's mostly who's going to be doing the work in the riot controlled areas. Now we can actually have a little bit of fun with this. Turn on free fire. Oh, and suddenly they don't want to riot anymore. What's the matter, buddies? They got him up. Dead. And there you go. Your riot is now contained. That's why we call this the Wolf Gang. So there you have it. It took a little while for it to be able to go. It was kind of slow to start. We did see that one riot in the solitary room. Wasn't as big as I wanted, so I was able to instigate this, and you'll now see the guards start to haul off all these dead bodies and bring them over to the morgue. And once you've got your morgue set up, then you'll be able to have the guards will actually start to transport them over to the hearses once they start to show up in the morning, and everything from there should go pretty smoothly. So, sorry it took a while. It seems like if you've got a really big prison like this, then going into the third speed isn't gonna help out a whole lot with your time. So we'll go ahead and start this, cut this video here for now. And as always, if you have questions about anything, go ahead and leave them in the comments or send me a direct message, and I will get right back to you. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned a few things from this. And as always, that's my child screaming. But thanks for watching. You have a great day and enjoy your prison.